G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder. We're having a look at our boy, the Leopard 1A1. And honestly, the 1A1 is probably one of the better tanks at this tier. And in fact, I would say that the 1A1 is probably one of my favorites at 8.7. Now, granted, I don't have any of the so-called pay-to-win premiums except the AMX 30 Super, but for the most part, this sort of 8.0 to 9.0 sort of battle rating, I've been having a blast, and I'm going to see if I can put together a video sort of reviewing the lineup in general, because the lineup itself, just the whole 8.7 lineup is really, really good. There's so much to love about the lineup, and I just really, really enjoy playing it. There's so much well-rounded goodness, I guess, in the lineup. You have good CAS, you have a good MBT, you have a good APC, you have good helicopter, you have good CAS, you have a good, anything, you name it. You just don't have a heavy tank, which, doesn't really matter, doesn't really make a difference, because we're in an era at sort of 8.0, 8.7 level where armor really doesn't matter, because the shells being developed are far better than the armor. And when you're up tiered, of course, you're in the era where ERA is a thing. And when you're down tiered, you're just before the era of, super light MBTs. But regardless, the 1A1, probably one of the better vehicles in the game, tier for tier. I think the 1A1 has some certain, perks that no other vehicle at this tier has. Obviously, it's got a good lineup behind it, but it also manages to get a really good shell selection with good mobility. And there really aren't that many tanks that share that. And you might think, well, just use dart. Why aren't you just using dart? But you will find situations where the dart doesn't cut it. I've had many, many situations where I've had to use Hesh or Heat FS because either I don't get hull breaks, or I need to shoot turret roofs, or I just simply can't use the dart in that situation. Granted, the APFSDS is the better shell, and you will take lots of it. I take 20. I also take 5 Heat FS for long-range things that I need to penetrate, and I take Hesh for those close-up engagements over hilltops where I can shoot turret roofs. And honestly, that is probably a little bit few and far between in the 1A1, and that's why I take only 5 shells. I don't take any more than that. Otherwise, I'd be filling up the ammo racks too much, and you can see that the front ammo rack is a little bit full, but I'm engaging an AMX 40. Now, I'm in a full up tier, and my team is starting to get clobbered. You can see the AMX 40 just panics a little bit, and he goes looking for a bush or a rock or something to go and repair, and I decide to give chase, because I know that my A point, or the A point rather, is pretty well contested. There's someone in the spawn, you can see on the marker, and I have a disabled AMX 40 that I need to take out, otherwise he's going to, hit me back with a 500mm pen shell. So I just put one into the side, and it pretty much cleans up everyone else in the turret. I can see another AMX 30, I think it's a Brennus at this point, and lo and behold, it is. I managed to put one behind it. Now, that's pretty much A secured. I figured there were only about 2 people there, and I'm going to go up and help B. Maybe I'm going to capture it, maybe I'm going to contest it, but I didn't want to take the B cap straight away because I didn't want people to know that I was there. And I wanted to be sneaky, and this is what the Leopard 1 is best at doing. If you're sneaky, if you're careful with your plays, and if you play smart, then you will 90% of the time come off better. Now, I am looking towards their spawn because I'm figuring someone is going to come back, and lo and behold, there it is. And as I reverse, he takes out my track, so if I hadn't have reversed at that point, I would have died. And I would have probably gotten ammo racked, to be honest. So reversing was my saving grace, and you can see I'm just casually repairing. I've still got the turret pointed towards that spawn, and now the enemy is capping B, so I'm going to put some artillery on that just to make sure that I get I guess, a little bit of intel. The important thing about artillery is it marks targets for you. And when you know where someone is, that's your first step in the battle. If you can, make some call outs maybe, or, get some information, or alternatively, in my case, block information with smoke, I'm going to try and shield myself from the spawn because I don't want that happening again. I put a double smoke and then I change my course, make sure that I'm roughly covered. I just saw that Leopard 1 getting taken out by the Merkava, and I'm wondering where it is. So I'm going to go and climb up this little hill, and lo and behold, there he is. He's looking at me, but I managed to put one into the crew compartment, which is just behind the engine block and the engine protection. And honestly, Dart will go through that most of the time, but I do manage to get one of the easiest kills that I've gotten against a Merkava in a long, long time. You can see that I did take a shot. Well, someone shot at me, and there it is. That's an XM1. Probably pay to win, to be honest. I hate facing XM1s, especially with 105mm guns, but it looks like he's going to be taken care of by either some CAS or some friendlies. And it looks like he's taken out by the Centauro, so I don't really have a whole lot to worry about, and B is getting decapped. So I've managed to secure the A point, which has now been taken back again. Great. I've managed to secure the B point, and I'm going to look at putting some pressure onto the C point, but not before dispatching this helicopter. I need to get rid of this helicopter, and without range finding, I'm going to miss a few shots. I'm not really that good at taking out helicopters, to be honest, and it's partially due to, I guess, me being bad, and me not knowing the gun so well. You can see I'm probably shooting way, way over. And this G91R3, just, I don't even know what that is. Come on, man. You're making a pass on a helicopter. Shouldn't be that hard. I mean, I get it. Tankers can't fly, but, oh boy. Anyway, I can see he's taken a little bit of a detour. He's turned his course, changed his course. There we go. That's the word. And I managed to snipe him out of the sky. And, that's not so bad. But what is so bad is I'm being attacked. I don't know what from. I can't tell where from. And I'm down to 2 crew members. That is not good. And so what I've got to do now is take cover, I guess, behind this rock and maybe figure out where I was getting shot from. That's really important. My teammate is looking at taking back that A cap, and that's also important, and I need to support him on the A point. But I can't because I'm being pinned down by what I think is another XM1. Now, I'm going to do something that you really, really shouldn't be doing, and that is tunnel visioning. One of the most important things in War Thunder is to keep your head on a swivel, and that means to always use your free look, which is, default C key, to check your surroundings. Always check your surroundings. Otherwise, you're going to be left out looking like a total idiot when a Merkava comes up behind you. I don't know what this guy was thinking. I don't know. Was he trying to play around with me? Was he just... He's got smoke, and I think he's going to be firing smoke shells. I genuinely don't know what this is. I shoot at his turret, and I'm panicking here. I'm panicking just a little because I didn't expect a Merkava to be right behind me. But lo and behold, it's... No, I won't make that joke. But I think you can get what I'm going to say. Dart finishes him off, though. It's no real biggie. But let's forget that happened. So, the good news is that I'm alive. The bad news is B is being decapped, but I am in a good position. I'm behind the B cap, and I can see what looks to me like an Object 120. Now, I pull back, but a BMP comes up and kills me. So, too bad, so sad for me. The Leo 101, in this case, there's not a whole lot I could have done. There's just too many targets to engage, and my team just didn't pull their weight. You get this situation a lot, actually. You find a lot of people just tend to die and never spawn in, or just never get kills. And something tells me it could just be that there are so many premiums at this tier, and people just don't do well. But a part of me also seems like a lot of people aren't willing to play lineups. And here I am in probably the best cast plane tier for tier. The FJ4, sure, but at this tier, you also want to be dogfighting a little bit. You want to be taking out helicopters, and you can see I managed to get a nice double kill on these light vehicles. It's so easy. It's painfully easy, and I don't know why people don't do it. Not only that, but you can spawn armored personnel carriers. You can spawn your you have a whole host of things that you can come back with. Yet you choose to leave on one spawn. I get it if it's a shit map and you don't like it, but at the same time, taking that extra spawn and maybe making the comeback victory could be your saving grace. And playing helicopters as well is extremely rewarding at this tier at 8.7, because the SS-11 missile, which is the most common missile on all the helicopters, is only found with only has a 3-kilometer range. And the SPAA has a 3.5-kilometer range. Not only that, but there are things like the Sergeant York up, and you also have armored personnel carriers with ATGMs. You have so much competition against those helicopters that playing them is actually really rewarding. It's fun. It is genuinely fun. And honestly, I don't see why people aren't playing more 8.7. I really love it. And if you have a good lineup, I mean, maybe not even 8.0, 8.7, 8.3 is good as well. There is just so much good about these battle ratings, and I've been having a blast. Obviously, there's been a little bit of salty moment here and there, but for the most part, it has been really, really positive. I really want to make a lineup review, like a fully fledged, fully edited, everything kind of lineup review on Germany 8.7. Because I think it's so fantastically fun. And I see a lot of people might enjoy it as well, because I enjoy it fantastically. And it's just really enjoyable, well-rounded, so much to gain from it. But one thing that you can't gain from all the time are the teams. Of course, the teams. And lo and behold, we're going to get absolutely ruffle-stomped in 10 minutes. There we go. Despite being first on the team in a maximum up tier, I can't do anything. There's only so much that you can do against a team that is better than you, and unfortunately you have to take an L sometimes. Anyway, ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching. Do let me know in the comments if you want to see an 8.7 review. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.